some fan favorites. Sing Sing, Eternal Envy, Bone 7, big playmakers, a lot of talent on this team, and they've been practicing. I mean, they've just been hitting Dota over and over and over again. They've been practicing so much, and they're looking in top form right now. I really think they are the team to beat right now.
Yeah, Cloud9, like you said, is looking great. Power Rangers, they're just one of those teams that sneaks up on you. I've seen them absolutely give some of the best teams in the world a run. I've seen them take down some very impressive wins. And if you're watching yesterday, yeah, they can beat some pretty good teams, if you know what I mean. So PR, they're, like you said, very creative in their drafting. They do kind of just tend to do their own thing. And the laning phase is where they get a lot of work done. When it comes to the precision of their rotations and their decisions to pressure lanes very early in the game, I don't know that there are, well, there you go. Good example of how they just kind of march to the beat of their own drummer. Power Rangers picking up a third pick Witch Doctor. There really just aren't many teams as good as they are at that particular playstyle, just carving the game up very early on. And the team that I used to say they reminded me of a little bit in that sense is Vici Gaming. Vici, going back to, say, D2CL Season 4 in their Eastern Division play, they had that same kind of feel that, well, if you can survive the first 20 to 25 minutes against them, you're going to usually be in good shape because that's where they excel the most. It's not to say they're bad going into the late game, but they are much better in the early and mid-game phases. So, but yeah, very aggressive coming out from PR. Looks like it will be that binge carry, as you had mentioned. We've seen them do some very interesting things with that. And now it's just on Cloud9. And yeah, they're going to go ahead and grab an Earthshaker. So on both sides, I mean, the Mirana, the Visage, not too surprising on either of those picks, but now with the Earthshaker pickup as well, I'm really, really interested to see what direction Cloud9 wants to go and whether they're going to play a bend but don't break strategy, or if they're going to go ahead and just put the screws to PR in their own way and just say, you know what, you want to play an aggressive game, we can do that too.
Yeah, you know, I like, normally I would say, looking at this draft, any other team, I would go, okay, right now the team with the Visage, Mirana, Earthshaker is massively outdrafting their team because you've got the heavy nukes of both Visage and Mirana coming into play, being able to allow you to pop what you have 3 squishies on Power Rangers. Like, up against a Visage Mirana, like, the nuke from Visage, which is just overwhelmed supports oftentimes, and the double nuke from Mirana is going to carve these heroes up. However, seeing the way the Power Rangers, I mean, they just have their own kind of strategy here. I'm not all too together convinced that Cloud9 are winning the draft so far, but with the Earthshaker pickup, they've got a really, really powerful tri-lane if they want to run up against that Vengeful Spirit, and they've also got enough room with the Earthshaker pickup to be able to also, you know, if Power Rangers get really, really offensive, they've got that sort of defensive fissure to be able to kind of help save them. Right now, I think Mirana is kind of perfect here to go up against the Venge tri-lane that they like to run. However, this is getting a little bit more interesting. We see a Doom being picked up, the Witch Doctor, not our normal support either when we see with Venge tri-lane. So I'm not too sure that Power Rangers are running the same old aggressive Vengeful Spirit tri-lane that they've been running in the past. I'm not really sure that Witch Doctor fits into that tri-lane all that well. I think there are other stuns, other nukes that you could definitely put out there that would be just as powerful, if not way more powerful than Witch Doctor in his addition to a tri-lane.
Yeah, and, you know, when you talk about that Witch Doctor pick, everything you just said is absolutely on the money. I mean, whenever, you know, he brings a certain amount of, you know, he does what he does. We'll put it that way. But and there's a Drow Ranger pick. It's second time in the last few days we're going to see a Drow Ranger played, so that's always fun. But, yeah, the Witch Doctor coming out in 3rd position even, that's a hero they could have probably hung on to. Don't know that Cloud9 would have taken the time to ban it. But the way the Power Rangers lineup is coming together, this is definitely some sort of premeditated lineup. I mean, Doom, it's so easy to say, well, Doom counter picks X, Y, and Z, but Doom kind of counters everything. That's what he does. It's his whole point. No matter what you have, he's going to be a counter to it. And off of that, and just again playing into what you said, the Witch Doctor pick coming out when it did in conjunction with the Vengeful Spirit and the Ancient Apparition, this is just something that they've already planned out. They're going to have something very, very specific in mind and how they're going to execute this. And to be honest, it's just tough to tell right now. I mean, the Witch Doctor, whenever you talk about what he can do with Maledict, and in terms of just piling on early game damage, Ancient Apparition again with Chilling Touch, Vengeful Spirit has that great aura, but she also has, again, Magic Missile. Now, whether she's being played as a support or a carry, she's excellent in terms of being able to output damage early and just lead off any kind of aggressive play. So, and the way that they're going to lane this, I'm really interested to see it too. So on the side of Cloud9, just adding in Drow Ranger, that's going to give them a lot of split push and push potential. It's going to give them the ability to initiate very well off of her silence as well. But PR, rounding out their front 5 with the Queen of Pain, so another very aggressive hero. And late game, yeah, they don't got a lot of it. This is a game that, again, is going to fit with their play style, win and win early.
Yeah, this is something that Queen of Pain is not a hero that has been seen a whole lot. Lately, she fell off the meta pretty hard. However, with some of the support you're looking at here, you're already wanting to run aggressive. You want to be able to have some sort of jump-in hero that works well with the support. Vortex being able to decrease some of that magic resistance. On top of that, the Maledict nukes are favorable right now. And Power Rangers Queen of Pain does have a large share of those, but Cloud9 doing a really smart thing here. Picking up Viper, if you're going up against a team that is super, super aggressive, that has tons of nukes, Viper is the perfect hero to run up against that, because not only is he a good aggressive hero to be able to combat early aggression, and he wins his lane, which is very, very important. If you're going to go for a mid-game centric team fight lineup, you need to be able to win your lanes. Viper is a good hero to pick up against that. He's also got that corrosive skin to be able to mitigate some of that magic damage that's going to be coming his way.
Yeah, I mean, Viper, an innately tanky hero. Whenever you see the way that this is kind of shaping up and how they're going to end up running it, you know, it would seem like it's going to be, yeah, I mean, they're just preparing for aggression, basically. They're going to have Eternal Envy farming the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger's silence is going to take on an increased importance here in this game, just because PR is 100% reliant on abilities. I mean, there really isn't a hero on the side of PR that can do what, say, a Viper or a Drow Ranger can do, which is just go, okay, even if I'm silenced, I'm going to be able to get some damage done. I'm going to be able to output some fairly decent right-click, even at mid-game stages with just an item or two. On the side of PR, they have to have all of their abilities chained just the right way. And yeah, we can see they're not going to waste any time. And this makes the most sense to me. They need to just keep the pressure up and not allow Cloud9 to set their heels and find their rhythm. I mean, that's something C9 has been so good at lately. And as you said, really a team on the come. I mean, they've got a ton of talent and always have. But in terms of their recent play, they have just been looking so good because they're falling into rhythm very early in these games. They're able to adapt to what an enemy team shows them, but they're also able to run their game the way they want to run it. We could see Sing Sing tossing an arrow out there just to scout. They might have a chance to catch him here. Yep, he did already place 1 point. Magic Missile leads off. Nice fissure from Pylai Dai, going to disjoin any kind of initiation they wanted to have off of that, and it looks like Power Rangers will be sent back to their side of the river with nothing in their pocket for that early aggression. So a wasted smoke, and Cloud9 able to keep everyone safe and sound.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the closest smoke initiations I've ever seen. Those heroes just one movement from Cloud9 a little too far to the right or on it come back up this ramp, they would have lost somebody there to that first blood. But a really good fissure from Pylai Dai just make sure that you know, nothing else is going to go down. So Power Rangers, we're looking at this. Tri-Lane is going to be coming out. Ancient Apparition, Witch Doctor, and the Vengeful Spirit, all very, very squishy heroes. So if they make some sort of overextension, they could easily get bit, but this is a lot of firepower. One good thing about Witch Doctor that I didn't talk about is the fact that Chilling Touches is the essential part of this whole aggressive Tri-Lane coming out from Power Rangers. And Witch Doctor does have a very, very good, he has long range and an excellent attack animation. So he's actually one of the few supports that is really, really good with just plain old auto attacking. So that being added in, the cask is pretty good in Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane scenarios if you're a little bit lucky. On top of that, Voodoo Restoration, and even at just level 1, having that level 2 pickup, it will increase your survivability by a lot in this lane. So if they can, you know, I can see where they're kind of going for this. Again, still trying to get aggressive, but as it stands right now, I'm not too sure that Cloud9 aren't just going to stay away from that Tri-Lane the whole entire time, because it's not like this Tri-Lane, looking at it, sure, it wins the laning phase, but how does it rotate out? The only stun that you really have that's really strong is Vengeful Spirit, and she's not going to be rotating in a lane because she's the carry.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and is actually going to build on that before you brought it up, is the one thing that Power Rangers, and this just puts them under the gun, even more so concerning the things we've been talking about all game, their playstyle, everything else. They just don't have all that much reliable lockdown. They've got Doom, and it's not a stun, but you know, it's kind of a disable in the fact that, yeah, you toss it on someone, and they're just not going to be contributing anything for quite a number of seconds. But they've got Cold Feet, again, not the most reliable. Magic Missile, the best stun they do have, and they've got the cask, and that's an all well and good, but it is a little bit of a worship the RNG god kind of a thing in terms of when who it hits and when it's able to disable the hero you really wanted to disable, outside of just throwing it onto a primary target and hoping that's enough. Cloud9 on the other hand just has so much control. They've got Visage Familiar stuns, they've got Fissure, they've got Sacred Arrow to follow up, even just the Grave Chill, they've got the slow coming out from Viper's ultimate, and they have the silence of Drow Ranger. In terms of their ability to manipulate team fights, be it in skirmishes or big 5-on-5s, that's a distinct advantage for Cloud9. So PR definitely, again, needs to get the most out of this carve it up kind of a style and make sure that this lineup is able to get ahead early. Otherwise, they could find themselves playing way up under their own towers and just hoping that the early game and mid game somehow stabilizes for them if Cloud9 is able to get an advantage.
Yeah, right now Power Rangers would be doing a lot better in their lanes if just one big key thing, they didn't block out the Ancient. Sing Sing, he's going to get caught out at bottom.
Yep, Sing Sing chased down behind his own tower. We saw the cast the lead. There's Ancient Apparition right on top of him. Tried to block him in. Not going to be able to do so. Taking a lot of damage because of Chilling Touch. Able to leap through the trees and salve himself back up. So well managed by Sing Sing. Nice patience and very, very nice decision making. The Ancient Apparition tried to cut him off but unable to block him within the woods. And nice dodge of the first blood early. Up at top, though, Cheshire Cat under a lot of pressure from Bone 7.
Yeah, right now, I mean, any Viper versus any melee is going to be a pretty good lane for you, but then you include the Visage, just being able to sit there, provide a lot of extra harassment. That's a really tough lane to deal with. So they're actually going to rotate the Witch Doctor out of lane. I think this is smart. Your tri-lane, you had one shot to be able to kill Mirana, and that was pre-level 2. When all he had was that arrow up and he didn't have leap, that was your one shot. With leap being up now, Sing Sing's a good enough player that he's going to be able to get away from those stuns, whether it's the cask or the Vengeful Spirit stun, whatever is leading, he's going to be able to leap out before it lands, and he should be fine after that. So they need to be able to protect their Doom a little bit better.
See, both teams beginning to rotate around. Pylai Die hanging around mid in the meantime. AUI doing his thing up here in top as well. There is some help coming. It's going to be FGod abandoning that bottom lane, and that rolls right in conjunction with what you were talking about, just saying, okay, with chances, oh, hang on, there's going to be a Sacred Arrow on J4. He'll output a little bit of damage. Takes him to about 50%, but unable to do much else. Cheshire Cat spotted out by the creeps, and we can see FGod was trying to get the jump on Bone 7, unable to do so there. A lot of pressure on both sides and both teams looking for that advantage, but honestly, the laning phase so far is without a doubt favoring Cloud9, so they're going to be quite happy with the way everything has played out, especially having already forced Power Rangers to rotate away from that bottom lane.
Yeah, one of their big advantages was supposed to be middle. Queen of Pain up against the Drow Ranger. You've got a better attack animation. You have the ability to kind of maybe jump in the Drow Ranger and put some harassment. Top, though, AUI's in trouble.
AUI throws off the Grave Chill, and we'll be able to scurry away because of it. Bone 7 in the meantime going to work on Cheshire Cat. And Scorched Earth, however, able to keep him alive and allow him to make it back to safety. So close call for AUI, but he will make it away. Pylai Die in the meantime, he's just short of level 3 and rotating his way up. Very low on both sides. We can see Cheshire Cat and FGod both sitting right around half health, and FGod very low on mana, but looks like, yeah, he was spotted out by the creeps, so they knew what was coming. Back to this mid matchup, like you were saying, though, Eternal Envy's doing a great job. He's sitting at 12 CS to the 14 of ZXC on the Queen of Pain, and ZXC should get more and more annoying. He's gone with 1 point in a Shatter Strike as of right now, so we'll look to see how he wants to build out. But his rotations are going to be essential for Power Rangers and how they begin to break down this laning phase. And that time is quickly approaching us. I don't think they can maintain the status quo very much longer and really have any hopes of the mid game going their way.
Yeah, right now, Power Rangers are having a hard time. The fact that a single kill has not gone down is a detriment to Power Rangers. So they were supposed to be this lineup that it was supposed to be aggressive, shutting down. The one lane that was supposed to go decently well early was supposed to be this middle matchup, but Queen of Pain is losing a lot right now due to Earthshaker doing the constant block off with Fisher being able to pull the creeps into the Ancients. That's a big loss of golden experience from ZXC, and it also gives Drow Ranger a big advantage laning situation-wise. The equilibrium of the lane, it's always by the tower, meaning ZXC has no room to be able to jump on the Drow Ranger or at least harass him back at all.
And we can see J4 moving ahead, showing himself. I was going to say maybe in mid. Pylai Die might take a shot at something. Very tough to try and get much done on ZXC. Would have to be a really nice silence. Never mind. Thought he might have put 1 point into silence instead. Eternal Envy just going 3 points into Frost Arrows and 1 into Precision Auras so far. Very close to level 6, though. And when he hits level 6, that's when things get risky for Power Rangers, really. I mean, but we can see already the damage output quite good, and he hasn't even hit level 6 yet. Now he's 6, and now with that first point into his ultimate, the bonus agility just absolutely massive. So at this point now, with level 6 found, and yeah, look at this, just look how much damage. Nice, Fisher. That's probably, nope, Pylai Die wasn't there, and he didn't have a point into Enchant Totem anyway, so thought he might be able to follow up stun it, but a lot of damage on both sides, but nonetheless, it's reaching that point whenever you have a Drow Ranger on the other side who is level 6 this early on. Up, hang on, bottom. We're going to have Boone in some trouble, and Soul Assumption plus a Sacred Arrow, enough to draw first blood. as Cloud9 able to get on the board first, and that is bad news for Power Rangers. They're going to look for some payback, rotating ZXC down with that Invis rune. Sing Sing quite low on mana, just took his ultimate though, and will be able to use it if he wants to and will. So ZXC getting there just a little bit too late to get any kind of reprisal.
Yeah, good rotation in general by Cloud9, and without the Queen of Pain, like now having level 6, level 7, you're supposed to be rotating around, picking up all these early kills, and Cloud9, I'm not too sure that really Queen of Pain's going to be able to find it. He jumps on the Drow Ranger, you run the risk of eventually having to deal with Gust. Now, there isn't a single level of Gust up just yet coming out from this Drow Ranger. I'm a little bit surprised, especially dealing with the initiation of a potential Doom blinking on you, or Queen of Pain is mainly the biggest factor right now, that we don't see that at least one level of silence up early.
Yep. And we already saw what I was trying to get to until the action broke out. Whenever you have a well-leveled Drow Ranger, and certainly a solo mid Drow Ranger is going to fit that criteria, her ability to push towers off of a win or just off of bad positioning is going to be there. He was there under that tower for every bit of about 5 seconds, already took it down about 1/5, 1/6 of its total health. If he's left alone in a lane for any amount of time, or if Cloud9's able to win a fight and keep him alive, it's going to be a dead tower in almost every case for the next 15 to 20 minutes. And that's just something that is going to be weighing on PR. They know that they're not, if they lose a fight, unless they lose it right up under Cloud9's own towers, they're going to lose more than just heroes. So they have to continue to try to keep the pressure up, but they really have to play tight and make sure they don't allow mistakes to turn into much bigger goals for Cloud9.
Yeah, one thing the Power Rangers do need to start doing, if they didn't pick up any early kills, they need to be able to get their supports to level 6, mainly this Ancient Apparition. The sooner he has that Ice Blast, the better combo that they have with the Queen of Pain. It means he can get a lot more aggressive on some of these heroes, just being sure that the 2 nukes that he throws out, a Blink and Scream of Pain, maybe even the Sonic Wave being used, and then the Ice Blast coming in ensures that the hero will die instantly and there's going to be no reprisal. So that's a very, very big part of this strategy coming out from Power Rangers, and they're faltering a little bit. Their Ancient Apparition needs to be in a lane somewhere, or pulling, picking up some farm, because right now Cloud9 are going to start punishing you by sticking together a little bit more, playing a little bit passive, making sure that you're not able to actually make those big plays. In fact, right now they're running 3 heroes up against ZXC, just making sure that he's not going anywhere, even running a nice little ward just to make sure that they have vision of Queen of Pain when she's in lane and when she's out of lane, and where those rotations are going to be at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we saw it in action right there. Cloud9 just had 3 there. There's nothing ZXC could do but just back up under his own tower. And it wasn't as if it was some, all-in kind of a push. They just melted creeps, walked up, took what damage they could on the tower, and suddenly it's below half health. And now, with Eternal Envy deciding to grab himself a Midas, he's going to have a lot of attack speed. And, Drow Ranger, amongst many, many heroes. I mean, there are some heroes where you get the minus, like, yeah, the experience bonus is nice and eventually the gold will be nice, but you're not getting a lot out of the attack speed. Drow Ranger, because of what she gets out of marksmanship, her ultimate with the bonus agility, even at just level 1 of 40, I mean, just a little bit of bonus attack speed, it makes her so much more lethal, especially, again, in terms of pushing towers, especially if she wants to try to slow siege them. So, really nice pickup from him. I feel like that's going to fit in very well with what they've accomplished so far, and ZXC able to blink away. And I'm a little surprised. Eternal Envy actually had a point into Gust, but didn't spend it there.
Yeah, maybe just thinking they weren't actually going to be able to kill the Queen of Pain, so not really worth the effort. But either way, I think Cloud9 are just really fine with the way the passive lanes are paying out. Like Drow Ranger, now being able to have marksmanship means that he can go into the jungle and farm it actually pretty quickly because of that large boost of agility. And ZXC, man, he's got to be careful, because just a 3-second silence could be enough for Drow Ranger to put Queen of Pain in that kind of danger zone where he's low enough to maybe get popped. So Queen of Pain still not making a good rotation just yet, kind of stuck in this middle lane, because that's the hero that they want to shut down. And Doom with that Invis might find the perfect initiation.
Highlight die. Doom down. F-God's right beside him. Looks like they're going to try to initiate off of that. It's going to be Eternal Envy pursued back south, and the Sonic Wave will connect. There's Maledict as well. However, behind that, we see the Earthshaker did die. Bit of a dive from ZXC and F-God as they take some tower damage on the way out. However, nope. Maledict does get the job. That was curious if that last tick would be enough, and it was. So very nice counter initiation coming out of PR off of the Invis Doom. Make it 2-1, and now they're going to have a chance to try to defend this bottom tower as well. It's just been Moon trying to defend. Looks like they are going to sack it. There's no rotations as of yet. So Cloud9, despite giving up a couple of heroes, will nonetheless still kill
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, with those early levels of Maledict, just one Sonic Wave immediately after the Maledict, so you get all 3 big ticks, is pretty much crushes the Drow Ranger. However, the big advantage of a Drow Ranger is that you farm very, very well, and it doesn't really matter if you die too many times. You're still able to pick up a large share of gold, especially with this Midas build. The Midas pretty much ensures that, again, the continuing thing of Drow Ranger, you die, sure, you get picked off every once in a while, you're still actually going to be able to hit like a truck going into mid to late game, because you're not only going to have a decent amount of gold from being able to just farm up your lane and farm up neutrals, they can't constantly shut you down, but also levels are often just as important for a Drow Ranger because of that ultimate. The higher the level of that ultimate, the more Drow Ranger is going to be able to get a lot more done in these team fights. So even if they do constantly jump the Drow Ranger, she's still going to be a big threat in the late game, and that's not many carries you can say that about. Many carries you can actually shut down continuously, constantly being able to gank them up, and you can keep them from getting to that late game factor. Drow Ranger, all she needs is time. That's really all it takes for her.
Yeah, and, the big bugaboo right now for Power Rangers is, they're behind a bit in gold. They're down 3,000, but they are beginning to fall behind a little bit in experience as well. That comes down to what you were talking about in terms of really needing their supports to be a little bit better level. Cheshire Cat's actually going to be spotted by Sing. Sing, nice Fissure. Sing's going to jump right on top of him, and they will get the kill. Doom's Pylai die before he ends up dropping, but with no one to follow up, Pylai die should have a chance to survive here. So even though Sing missed with the arrow, Pylai die again with a nice Fissure. Here in mid, though, PR going to look for some payback, trying to bring down the tier 1. We saw the silence come out from Eternal Envy, but not going to be able to follow it up. They will use the glyph, and in the meantime, Moon finding some much-needed farm down in bottom lane. They may end up trying to dive this top lane as well, but for now, tier 1 in mid, likely to drop. I don't know. They actually timed this poorly. They're going to be able to come back and deny that tower. They feel like it. Sacred Arrow dodged by F-God. Saw it coming. Visage did end up diving up at top. And now, the reaction on Cheshire Cat. Visage Familiar's there. Man stun. And BO3 going to work on Cheshire Cat. Doing what he can. Another good fissure from Pylai Die, trying to chase down CXC. Will be able to get back up under his own tower. They pick off the Doom behind the fight. But now, Power Rangers, oh wow. Blink Dagger up on BO3, and he may have gotten a little too brave there. Took a lot of damage following the stun underneath the enemy tower. But Cloud9 continuing the trade very well for the most part. Make it 4-2. Now doubling up PR. Top tower down below half health. And I didn't see if that mid tower got denied or if it was brought down. Yeah, it was Eternal Envy who denied that mid tower. So wins across the board for C9.
Yeah, Cloud9 always pick up very, very interesting items. But the funny thing about this, well, hold on. Moon catches a Sacred Arrow.
Good arrow from Sing. The follow-up's there. And so long as Sing's hitting his arrows, he's going to be able to create tons of space for Eternal Envy. And we can see Envy is quite happy to just occupy one small piece of real estate, a safe part of the jungle there. He's been spending a lot of time there, bouncing in and out of lane. He's going to go ahead and go right in and start pounding away on the hard camps. So Power Rangers very much under the gun, and they know they're going to smoke up near the Roche pit, go head hunting through the jungle, and if they can find Eternal Envy, it'll be a nice pick. They still have a lot of work to do to get things back together. In fact, C9 just manages to bring down the tier 1 top as well, and looks like PR guessed the wrong direction, heading into the left side of the jungle, while Eternal Envy was vacated quite some time ago, heading through the south side of it. BO3, though, might make an appetizing target if they're able to spot him.
Yeah, what I love about the Blink Dagger up, it's somewhat similar to the Blink Dagger on Clinks in that positioning is just important for this Viper. So if he can actually get the jump in with the Viper Strike and just those auto attacks, he's got a lot of good heroes he could just mess up, but he's going to be in some serious trouble now.
Yep, here we go. Doom is available if they want to spend it. Looks like they're anticipating a reaction and saving that Doom for now. Just going to chase BO3 into the side shot. Pylai dies there, hits a fissure, but that might end up getting him killed if he's not careful. That was actually able to block in Cheshire Cat. So the Cat takes some damage. There's going to be an entrance land. That's going to end up dropping AUI's Soul Assumption. And Pylai Die has to keep running. AUI and Sing both there. But nope, was going to say, very good chance he could end up dropping a J4 either way, and he does. Cheshire Cat actually never spent his Doom there, mostly saving it for the Mirana, I would imagine. And let's see if they want to pressure elsewhere. In the meantime, once again, though, Eternal Envy, and he's actually got a Mask of Madness build, so going pure 100% glass cannon, not even trying to get up a lot of survivability at this moment. But his ability to push towers anytime Power Rangers loses focus for even a second is absolutely off the charts.
Yeah, Drow Ranger just gives you so much pushing potentially. She's not like the normal pushing hero that you look, okay, summon some sort of units, you know, push down a tower or anything like that. She's just straight up damage where if you just don't pay attention, you're going to lose a tower, especially with this build coming out from Eternal Envy. Maxing out the attack speed. First the Midas, which gives you a small amount, but then after that, the Mask of Madness. This is an insanely glass cannon style build on Drow Ranger.
There's Moonlight Shadow. They might have had a chance to spot it. Yeah, they know there's a big reaction coming, and they're going to try to run all the way back to the tier 2. Doom has been spotted, and they're going to catch ZXC. Nice fissure, but it tracks. Oh, beautiful shot coming out from Sing Sing. Don't know if they would have even needed it, but just to secure it, it would have connected before she could blink, whether the damage there was there or not. So a nice shot and another big pick-off going the way of C9. And tell you what, man, this is not boding well for Power Rangers for a number of reasons. Their lineup is very limited in terms of mid-game and late-game scalability, but their own play style just really does not lend itself well to being behind the stage of the game. And behind they are. You're talking 7,500 gold advantage right now for Cloud9. Experience running that range as well. It's going to be that's going to be a little bit short. Cheshire Cat picks up a haste room, but as of right now, Cloud9, outside of out farming and outplaying PR, they're just flat out outmaneuvering. It seems like they're always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, Cloud9 are masters of being able to get the right movement. Example, middle, Sing Sing hits the arrow.
Yep. And really, even have time to try and call that the damage output is getting through the roof. AUI, again, always in the right place at the right time. He's actually more than halfway done with the scepter now. Bone 7 has picked up the chainmail. Likely to see him go ahead and grab a mechanism. And barring some kind of disaster for Cloud9, this is really going to be their game to win or to lose. PR, again, their lineup they don't have the punching power anymore. They had a lineup that had to excel in the laning phase, had to break that laning phase down very early. They failed. I like they will get Eternal Envy and here in bottom. So a little bit of overextension, really just kind of sloppy. They were really off by themselves, and PR had a number of heroes who were not visible and able to hem them in. So a nice couple of return kills going the way of PR.
Yeah, not a bad exchange. You're going to see Cheshire Cat smoked up, and, well, Sing Sing might be in some trouble middle.
Good swap, and start to follow up. And yeah, we were singing their praises, barring some disaster. I won't call that exactly a game-changing exchange, but if they get Roshan off of it, which they have a better chance of doing, they're going to be right back in this. Just a little bit of sloppy play, and this is what PR does. They're just such an aggressive team, and they're so good at capitalizing on early mistakes that if you make too many in a row, they will flip it completely around on you.
Cheshire Cat, he's going to give up a kill. He was able to get the Visage mainly because Bone 7 mistimed that last hit on the Doom. AUI was just running away from him. But real quick, AC, you're having some issues with your microphone. It seems to be like cutting out as we get into more volume from your voice. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it seems to be getting slightly worse as time goes on. We are going to see Roshan go down, though. Aegis is going to go on the Vengeful Spirit, so something small for Power Rangers to hold on to, but this is still Cloud9 massively ahead. I don't think the gold lead really shows just how far ahead Cloud9 are ahead right now because they have this really strong late game lineup. Power Rangers have nothing to be able to contend past the 35-minute mark.
And up at top, we can see Cloud9 is beginning to push in this top tower. Hopefully, I have no idea what the issue would have been, by the way. It may just be another Skype issue. But nonetheless, top tier 2 going to end up dropping again, going the way of C9. The gold lead, I mean, we saw a small dent put in that by PR, but still hanging right around 7,500 gold experience. Still vastly in their favor as well, but C9 going to go ahead and pick up yet another Blink Dagger. This time it's going to be on Eternal Envy. Now, that's a fascinating pickup to me. Again, I think this plays into what we were talking about with PR. They're just so ability reliant, and having Gust and now having the ability to initiate with a Blink Gust on top of them, that just changes the game completely for them. All of a sudden, this team that seemed very mobile, seemed like a good jump in and fight kind of a team, has to be even more cautious with their positioning.
Yeah, this is really surprising to me, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense, right? The Mask of Madness, your hero's so built. Well, J4 is going to go down at top. Either way, though, this whole entire build is sort of meant for you just being able to burst down a hero with physical damage. It feels like it's almost nukes coming out from this Drow Ranger. FNG, though, and an arrow at this middle lane.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Moon silenced out with the Gust. Another good fissure going to trap them both in, and with Eternal Envy there to help do damage. Still not enough as ZXC manages to come in with a lot of burst. However, good Echo Slam secures another kill to get the Ages. Off of the bench, here comes Cheshire Cat. Is doomed out Eternal Envy. Will be slowed by the Viper Strike. Look at how squishy he is. Boone back up, throws out the magic missile. However, the Visage Familiars are there. They'll be able to stun, and that'll be that. That's going to be a 4-for-2 exchange. And even though Cloud9 lost the 2 heroes they wanted to keep alive the most, another big win going the way of C9. ZXC should be able to make it away. But actually, yeah, Bone 7 picking up that blade mail. Saw the chain mail, thought he might be straight to a mech. Not that worried about it. In the meantime, AUI, as we saw, does have his scepter up. And basically the item development, everything is just reached that point of critical mass. I honestly don't think this game is going to last that much longer. There's just no way for PR to counter at this point.
Oh, ZXC, he barely missed out on the scream, and because of that, he may give up his own life here. He's one blink, but that's a beautiful thing. Bone 7 can often pursue this Queen of Pain because he does have a blink dagger of his own. But going back to this, it's very, very in the same style as Eternal Envy and the way he likes to play Clinks, and that positioning is so important on this hero. Why not get a blink dagger? Sure, he's extremely squishy, and if they actually get the jump on him, he's done for in an instant. Just one simple nuke puts him down below half health. So, you know, this is a very, very squishy, high-risk lineup, but they've got so much good control right now that why not? PR, the biggest jump in that they have right now is Queen of Pain. And what does a Queen of Pain really do? When he blinks in, right, he has these nukes, you just respond with a silence. Right, he's going to be able to get off one nuke. As he starts throwing out the other one, a silence is going to come out from Eternal Envy, and then the turnaround, pop the Mask of Madness, and just beat that Queen of Pain down. Other than that, there is not a whole lot of initiation, which is why I was kind of expecting Blink Dagger coming out from Doom. It can still be an option for him, but right now he's just so underfarmed that he can't even pick it up. He's only sitting at 1,000 gold after the phase boots and Vanguard he grabbed earlier. They need to be able to have some additional jump onto that Drow Ranger, because right now Queen of Pain is simply not enough to threaten Eternal Envy.
Absolutely, and you really hit all the high points. And what the ridiculous thing is, as much magic damage output as PR can have, we have seen absolutely no prioritization of magic immunity on the side of Cloud9. They haven't had to. They've just been so far ahead. Not a single BKB either done or even in construction at this moment. And yeah, again, that just speaks to how far ahead they really are. They might end up losing Bone 7 here in mid, though, as he's doomed, and they do manage to get off the Mirana ulti. The AA ultimate will be there. That's actually going to connect on 2 heroes, and ZXC eating a bit of damage, 2 seconds until he can blink away. Nice swap. But actually, no, check that. Not the best swap. Oh, it ends up being good as ZXC turns and unloads on poor Eternal Envy. So PR able to get a couple of high priority pickoffs. Now can they turn it into something more tangible? They have a chance to push down this middle lane. It's going to be about 30 seconds until Viper and Drow Ranger are back up on the side of C9. But again, Cloud9 with a team that we've seen just keep the pressure up offensively, but can play defensively very well. Especially with the Earthshaker now getting very close to a Blink Dagger. A Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker basically means pushing into any tower at any point is a brand new proposition. It is going to be so difficult to do that reliably. And yeah, they're not even going to try to push down that mid-tier 2. Instead, pulling back now into the chamber and trying to find a way to reset.
Oh, Moon might be in a little bit of trouble. Visage is finding him. The arrow not going to be able to land, though. And it should be fine, even just a little bit of swap. But yeah, we saw that level 2 swap as we have level 2 swap, maybe even level 3. That is better initiation. However, the problem with Vengeful Spirit here is this is supposed to be your damage dealer, right? This is supposed to be your carry who picks up, you know, a Yasha, a BKB, and is actually hitting pretty hard. And when you're swapping yourself into for the other carry, right? Necessarily, you can't just turn and put that damage immediately onto the Drow Ranger that you just put in a bad position. So once the BKB is up on Drow Ranger, which I'm presuming is going to be the next item, we'll have to see if he actually wants to build into that. But he does need to be wary of the sort of jump that PR will have as these heroes start to get a little bit more farm, a little bit more items. And with the Blink Dagger potential on Doom, still don't know if he's going to go see that, but the swap coming out from the Vengeful Spirit, right now they're perfectly willing to trade a carry Vengeful Spirit in exchange for a carry Drow because one is way far ahead of the other.
Chat Trivia, who are the only 3 players, or the only players to have, I didn't see how many it was actually, to have 3 competitive wins on Drow Ranger. And that's actually really interesting. I usually on these, even if I don't know, I can usually just guess based on context. I genuinely have no idea. I've seen every team run Drow Ranger once or twice. I don't know that I've seen every team run Drow Ranger enough to have that many wins.
Let's see. Eternal Envy, Arteezy. Oh, J4 in trouble.
And yep, we're gonna have J4 brought down here in mid. But yeah, that's the thing is like I can remember seeing a lot of players run him, and it's certainly Eternal Envy, Arteezy, like you said. But it's so hard to say have they won that many games on it. So I'll defer to you this time.
Yeah, I can't think of any other teams. I mean, basically Arteezy because of speed, basically. But at the same time, I can't think of any of the other. Sorry, Nahaz. I love you, man. I love you so much. But honestly, I cannot keep up with all the stats that you throw down.
Yep, no joke, no joke.
But you know, I'm sure the people watching have been able to pick up on some of those stats. I'm sure. I just can't think of who that third player is. Then
Bone7 jumps in, pops the blade mail, and a nice fissure coming out from Pilot. I caught both of them. We're gonna see one picked off, make it 2. The damage output from C9 just through the roof. Cheshire Cat over in the side of the trees. Unable to really contribute much of anything, and that tier 2 melts like butter. And Cloud9 might be looking to put a cherry on it right now. They have all the momentum. They have everything they need to get ready to do this. Pilot I didn't even spend his Echo Slam that time. And yeah, it's Eternal Envy's actually saying the hell of Magic Minute, not worried about it. We're just going to build a Yasha. It's fine. Look for a Manta style coming down the stretch. Cheshire Cat hanging out over on the side has a blink of his own. And we'll look to get a blink silence on one of these heroes. But just look at the tower melt. I mean, they're going to have Venge back up in a minute. And I'd actually be surprised if Cloud9, yeah, they are going to go ahead and pull back. So, I mean, playing very, very cautiously, not wanting to take too many chances. I think they probably could have taken a flight right there. And if they won that fight, that would have been the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they could have taken it too. It's a little bit risky going into the base this early with the items that they have. While Viper is very, very tanky, and he just picked up his Aghanims, all he had was a Blink Blade Mail, which is some good sustain and everything else, like good chase, that sort of thing, but doesn't necessarily mean the greatest damage. Your damage is really coming out from the fact that Drow Ranger is giving you that aura. Mirana and Viper are not heavy hitters right now. So if Blink Dagger Doom is able to jump in and stop the Drow Ranger from being a factor in the team fight, and one Doom, that's all it takes. Drow Ranger is practically dead from that point in time. You know, that's all it's going to take for Power Rangers to be able to turn a team fight, I think. It's still going to be rough, mainly because Cloud9 are so very far ahead. But just being able to get that initiation should be able to give Power Rangers such a big advantage in the team fight that they might actually be able to turn, despite the fact that they're currently 14,000 gold behind. I see. Oh, you know what?
I almost said Illidan. I almost said Illidan. I swear I did. I like of all the players I think of playing Drow Ranger that I've seen play the most, Illidan was the one that came to mind. I just couldn't remember really seeing him win that many times. So either way, good question, Nahaz. I really like that one. That was one of the better questions you've asked. One of the few where I honestly just had didn't feel confident at all in my answers.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think if we see the same heroes all the time, the stats man job is kind of getting really boring. But then you see a hero like Drow Ranger, and you're like, there's so many stats I can talk about now.
Here we go. Blink in from Bone7. There's an Echo Slam. Only caught one, though. And the follow-up arrow is there. Pilot going to end up dead off of it, though. However, good ultimate coming out from F-God, doing a fair amount of damage. However, the follow-up just isn't there. Once again, Cloud9 on the Maraude path. And Bone7. Doom down. Can they follow it up? That's going to be about the best they can hope for as they manage to bring down 3. However, they should be cleaned up off of the ZXC. Actually lands a good Sonic Wave, though, and they're going to be to turn this back around. There was a buyback on the side of Cheshire Cat, though, and ZXC bided his time with that Sonic Wave and hung on to it. So there's that big turnaround they were looking for. Roshan is up. And honestly, I feel like Cloud9, if they had just pulled back and reset a little bit after that fight, they would have been in good shape. But over-pursuing Power Rangers, setting up that big Sonic Wave, and PR able to once again capitalize on a mistake made by that squad. Roshan dropping not all that quickly, though. Earthshaker's already back up, so this could be a little bit more difficult for them than they think.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the lack of damage. As soon as the Drow Ranger went down, it was just simple over-aggression coming out from Cloud9. I mean, the part of that fight that was the worst for Cloud9 was them losing. Oh, my goodness. What Basher. What a
unfortunate match. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is going to be a little bit more difficult because they basically Doom was tanking it, and we already see the fissure thrown in. Dies the Roshan. That happened to me the other day. Same thing. I was trying to tank Roshan and cut a little too close and got bashed on my way out of the pit. But anyway, Yeah, like they didn't get a Roshan out of that just because they didn't have the right personnel. And sadly, as of right now, Doom's now down, and this is going to be a free Roshan for Cloud9. So it's something as simple as just dropping Roshan and giving up the kind of a silly death that you make a joke about. Now, all of a sudden, that's an 8 for Bone 7, and now F-God feeds because why not, right?
Yeah. I guess after that MMR shot, he just wanted to be able to prove that he can feed too. I don't know. That was sure, a good Ice Blast, it can be amazing, but Witch Doctor is not the sort of hero that is able to throw down some sort of instant nuke to allow you to shatter somebody, so that was just kind of a silly play. Maybe if he was there 5 seconds earlier, he could have gotten a good cask, but even then, how do you output the damage? You have the stuns, you have Icy Blast going down, but where is the actual damage coming from? It's not going to be on a Witch Doctor, so BKBs are beginning to come up. Power Rangers has one on Moon. Question is Queen of Pain. Went for a good Scythe of Ice, and I think this is smart, being able to have this. This is now the second item, or no, actually the two abilities and one item that is directly going to be able to counter the Drow Ranger right now. Now, whether or not Eternal Envy ever picks up a BKB or just continues with this damage output, and now has an S and Y rather than the Manta that was.
He's going to go Maelstrom. Wait and see. That's what he's going to build. He's going to build a Maelstrom. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's probably Eternal Envy. It's just. Much attack speed is humanly possible. That's all we want. Just machine gun drow is really what it is all about.
Yeah, I mean it's. I feel like, you know, I'm not going to overplay it. I still feel like Cloud9 is, I mean, 14,000 gold ahead. They're not that far ahead in experience, but still enough. This is definitely still their game. This is the kind of game that makes me nervous because you're letting a team hang around a lot longer than you should. I mean, where's your mechanism? Where's your pipe? You know, get these items up, and I don't care who you put them on. Put them on anyone. You get those two items up, you go win a fight, you go crack a tier 3, you go take a set of racks, and there's no hope. As of right now, they got one tier 3, but there's still racks standing, and it's not to say that PR's like in a great position because they managed to keep their racks up past 30 minutes. But, you know, there's an old saying, you know, if you let a team hang around, eventually, you know, they're going to hang around in the wrong way. You know, it's Power Rangers being left in this game. It's just giving them more and more opportunities to try and get something accomplished, try and turn something around. They kind of blew it in the Roche pick, giving that Aegis to Bone 7. But this should be the final big push coming out of Cloud9. Otherwise, they probably will start to feel a little bit nervous. I mean, again, a very large lead. But you want to close this game out as quick as you can. They're going to go right on Cheshire Cat. That hurts a lot because Cheshire Cat does not have buyback. 2 minutes, though, he can get back up. And they should be able to finally put this together.
Yeah, they definitely got enough damage to finish off a set of racks now, and you are kind of right. I mean, just delaying this game pretty much gives Eternal Envy more opportunities to pop Mask of Madness and blink into Ice Blast, which is not what you want to see. I mean, with that hero so squishy, you know, just let's go ahead, get a racks advantage, and then you can continue onto your YOLO builds on Star Ranger.
So much damage on the double damage Viper, and Moon dropping down as well. Sonic Wave connected on a couple, but not nearly enough damage. And finally, GG will be called. And again, you know, it wasn't as if PR was in great shape and was going to be able to really have a realistic hope of turning it around. But still, don't let a team like PR hang around, man. Don't reach out and surprise you. We saw that down in that bottom lane. Cloud9, though, took them a little bit longer than maybe many of us would have anticipated, given the way the first 20 minutes went. Nonetheless, they take a Game 1 win, and PR now up against it. Has to win 2 in a row if they want to try to get a win, a notch in the win column in this series.